Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We sincerely apologize for the delay. We had some technical difficulties here, and our city staff just fixed the problems, and now we want to start the hearing. So due to COVID-19, Committee of Adjustment public hearings are being conducted virtually by electronic means through WebEx webinar, an online digital platform, and streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel. Participants who have registered in advance will be able to make their presentation to the committee using WebEx webinar, which is moderated by city staff. Anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Participants who have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. All participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, each participant will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask you also mute your devices until you are called on to speak. Those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to the panelist when your item is being held. During this time, your camera will be enabled. You will only be visible during your 5 minutes allowed speaking time. At all other times, your video will be disabled and you will be reinstated as an attendee. Committee of Adjustment staff will share a presentation submitted in accordance with the written submission deadlines. Members of public and applicants are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist control during the video appearance. The host will remove you from the panelist role if you fail to respond. My name is Nazila Atarodi West. I'm chairing this meeting, and the panel member with me are Miss Sankar and Paul Kidd, Ron Hunt. And city staff moderating this platform are Simon Lam, the Deputy Secretary Treasurer, Alex Chu, Sam Mazayani, and Arvind Bridgeraj. Land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on this traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississauga of Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and Wendat people, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississauga of the Credit. In accordance with Section 45 and 53 of Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of Committee of Adjustment of City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variance for the provision of zoning that applies to the property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. Receiving a copy of decision of the committee. Anyone in attendance today who wants to receive a copy of decision of the committee on an application must submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that including your name, address, and email addresses, because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto Local Appeal Body, TLAB, will be sending notification and appeal update by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, TLAB, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal, OLT. However, the provincial government recently amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decision. As of November 28, 2022, only the applicant, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified person, and public bodies, as those terms are defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are sent out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. Hearing procedures. I'll call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Making your submissions. When an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant's agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I'll comment when you are reaching the 5 minutes. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revision to the proposal at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure that the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of changes. Then individuals, either in support or opposed to the application, will be invited to speak. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of discussion, and the applicant will then be taken in the committee. The application will then take to the committee for a decision. So for morning session, we have some minutes of the last meetings to confirm. The first minute will be November 24th, 2022, and the panel member who were present was Paul, Kit, myself, and Ron Hunt. Can I get a motion to adopt the meeting? Okay, we have a motion from Ron Hunt, second by Paul, and all in favor. So the minutes, November 24, 2022, approved. The second minute is dated February 23, 2023. Panel member who will present is myself and Ms. Nadini Sankar. So Nadini Sankar put forward a motion, I seconded, and all in favor, it's the minute approved. The third minute to approve is dated October 7, 2022. Again, the panel member be presented there is myself and Ms. Nadini Sankar. Can I get a motion? Yes, motion by Ms. Sankar, second by me, and the minute October 7, 22 approved. So now I would like to ask our panel member and staff if they have any declaration of any conflict of interest on any matter, none to declare. Then I would like to ask Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer if we have a request for deferral.
Madam Chair, sorry, at this point, we should make a motion, the panel member should make a motion to recognize you as chair for this hearing.
Okay.
Can I have a motion from one of the panel members to recognize Nizila as chair today? Ms. Sankar, second it by Paul. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So do we have, Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer, do we have any requests for any deferral for this morning session?
We do. We have a morning deferral, item number 6.
Okay.
76 Ridgevale.
All right. Item number 6, 76 Ridgevale Drive. So I have the agent name Jonathan Wizzle. Good morning.
Yes, that's correct, Madam Chair.
Good morning. Would you please state your name and address for the record?
Yes, Jonathan Wiesel, 36 Janesville Road, Thornhill, Ontario, L4J6Z9.
Thank you very much. Would you please explain why you request for deferral?
I'm trying to get a hold of the zoning examiner to discuss the variance of 3 stories versus 2 stories. I think she may have misinterpreted the drawings, or I may have to lower the basement. And I have talked to the city planner who wrote the staff report, and he said if we reduce to 2 stories, and they will remove their objection. So that's the reason why I'm asking for the.
Okay, for what, I don't know, your voice is kind of broken, so would you please repeat the last sentence you mentioned?
The staff planner, I don't know why we're getting the reverberation. He will remove the objection if the proposed building is 2 stories, not 3 stories. And so I'm going to try to revise the drawings.
Okay, thank you. So what we heard is that you're waiting for a zoning examiner to clarify on 3-story versus 2-story. Is that correct? That's what we heard.
That's correct, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. So, panel member, we have a request for deferral.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Is there someone else on the line?
Madam Chair, the other individual that was registered to speak for this file is not on the call.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, we have one area resident that is not on call. So now I would like to ask the panel members, do we have a motion? Yes, Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would, now I'm breaking up.
Well, we can hear you, Mr. Ron.
Okay. I will move a motion to defer sine die this motion to allow the applicant to discuss with the zoning examiner.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We have a motion from Mr. Ron Hunt so to defer the application so that the applicant have enough time to discuss further with the zoning examiner. Do I have a second? Yes, Ms. Sankar seconded. All in favor? Yes. So your application deferred. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer, are there any file to be closed today?
There is not.
Thank you very
But
much.
sorry, Madam Chair, I want to apologize. This was recorded. The minutes that were approved for October, it was incorrectly noted as 2022. It's actually 2021. So I just want to make sure the members were aware of that.
The
yeah.
November 24,
No,
2021.
October 7 is 2021.
Yes, there
Yeah.
on my note it was 2022.
Yeah, it was incorrectly noted.
Okay.
As long as the members know that they're
Okay.
approving the correct
So,
ones.
members, the first minute that we approved was November 24, 2021.
Sorry, it's October 7th. It's the last one, October 7th.
Okay, I apologize. The minute that we approved, the last one, the October one, October 7th, the date was 2021. And it was me and Nadini on Ms. Sankar on that hearing. Just want to let you know. Perfect. Thank you. So we will start the hearing now. The first item is item number 1. The address is 303 BOGERT Avenue. So we have Amber Stewart, an agent. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning. Would you please state your name and address for the record?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. It's Amber Stewart, and my address is 70 Plunkett Road, Unit 6, Toronto, M9L2J5.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, if I may start with my presentation?
Yes, please proceed.
Thank you. I did submit a visual presentation, which I would appreciate if that could be put on the screen.
Yes, our staff are trying to put it on screen. Yes, it's on the screen. Please
There we
start.
go. That's perfect. Thank you. So I'll start out by asking the committee members to keep in mind while I make my presentation that BOGERT Avenue is not a typical street in this Willowdale neighborhood. BOGERT is evolving to fulfill a role as a transitional street between the higher density development on Shepherd and the residential neighborhood to the south. And this is a similar transitional role as to what has already occurred on the eastern portion of this neighborhood in the first and second blocks west of Yonge Street. So on the first slide, you can see just a summary of the application. I will point out for the committee that there's nothing atypical or unusual about the severance and minor variance proposal. It is an application to sever a 15.24 meter lot into two 7.62 meter lots with variances that are typical for severances of this nature and also typical on replacement houses. The lot coverage proposed is 32%. There are sidewall variances to permit the small dormer projections to project above the permitted 7.5 meter wall height. You can see where the outline is on that graphic on the bottom right. And there are variances that are related to the side yard setbacks. What is proposed is 1.2 meters on the exterior of the houses and 0.61 meters on the interior, so that there will be a separation of 1.22 meters between the two houses. And then there's associated side yard setbacks for the rear deck and the eaves troughs. I'll just point out there that the dwelling length of these houses is actually quite modest at 14.21 meters. So these variances, again, are typical for what exists in the broader neighborhood and the immediate neighborhood and are typical for severances that have been approved. So if we could move to the second slide, what I think is I've really tried to illustrate on the second page of this presentation is the way in which BOGERT has evolved in a manner that is different from the rest of the streets in this neighborhood. It is adjacent to Shepherd, the first street to the south, and Shepherd, as you know, is subject to a secondary plan. So higher density development is planned for Shepherd and has been approved. What is unique about BOGERT Avenue in particular is that there have been developments that have occurred on Shepherd that have assembled lots fronting onto BOGERT. And those assemblies have included blocks of townhouses that are approved all along BOGERT Avenue. You can see on the right-hand side, I've just screenshotted images of the renderings or the plans. There is seven units of 4-story townhouses that will front onto BOGERT just west of Yonge Street. Moving more to the middle, in the next block of the subject property, there are 9 3-story townhouses approved that will be built fronting onto BOGERT. And then immediately to the west, there is another approval for a very large development proposal. And those 2 lots that are on BOGERT have been approved for 4-story stacked townhouses. So BOGERT is a street that is changing, and in the next few years, we're going to see a number of townhouses that are fronting onto that residential street. Now, the other thing that you can see in this graphic is that there is a mix of lot sizes on BOGERT Avenue, and that includes in the subject block. You can see the blue lots are 7.62 meters or smaller. The green and purple lots are also very similar in lot size. And then when we get to the pink and yellow, those are the 12 and 15 meter lots. But that mix already exists in a way that is compatible. What is very important to note is that on the adjacent block to the east, where you see that green circle, That is a severance that was approved at the Committee of Adjustment only last year for a severance on BOGERT, which is almost identical to the severance proposed in this case.
Sorry, you have only
Now, I will say
45
that
seconds.
severance was abandoned on appeal, but it was approved at the committee. If we move on to the next slide, I see I'm getting close to the time. I think what I would point out here is that these are examples of redevelopment on BOGERT, and you can see that the examples are very similar to what is proposed, even when we're looking.
You have only 20.
Sorry, Madam Chair.
Like you have only 20 seconds to finish, to wrap up.
Okay, I'll wrap up. Thank you. So this slide is just intended to show that what is proposed in this case is very similar to what has been approved and exists on BOGERT. And then the other thing to point out in the first photo, that's standing in front of the subject property, and you can see how close it is to that very large redevelopment that's been approved. You'll be able to see that redevelopment from the site. So subject to any questions you have, Madam Chair, I will close my submissions there.
Thank you very much. So I'll ask the panel member if they have any question. Any question from any panel member? We can see Ron Hunt. Okay. So, so we have an application they want to obtain consent to sever the property into 2 residential lots. And we have a staff letter report date May 18, 2023. Staff recommended the refusal. We also received a letter from Councillor Chen. She also a request refusal of the application, and we listen to the applicant. So any question, comment from panel member? Now we have all yes. Yes, Paul? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess my question would be if the city staff has recommended we refuse this. And reading in their comments, I think that the majority of the complaints are both with the requested variances and the severance. Can the agent just point to any similar developments within the immediate area? I noticed when I did the drive around that there didn't seem to be anything comparable within the immediate vicinity of the application.
So do you have any question from the applicant, or that was a comment?
I'm just questioning whether there is any similar development within the vicinity of the application.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. And through you, Madam Chair, I think part of the issue with driving in this neighborhood is that a number of the developments have been approved yet, but not built. And how that landscape will look in a few years when those developments are built will be very different to what is there today. But they are part of the approved context. But in the immediate block, we have 295 BOGERT, which is a 7.6 meter lot. We have 293 BOGERT next door, which is a 10.7 meter lot. At 271 and 275 BOGERT, we have 7.62 meter lot beside a 10.67 meter lot. I have included that one photo at number 3, which shows one replacement house, and then the lot beside it is a smaller lot as well. And then 304 BOGERT, which is a 10.36 meter lot. So those, let me see, I gave you 5 examples of lots within the immediate block, which are very similar in lot size. And they either have houses now that are similar to what is proposed, or they will have when those houses are replaced. And then, of course, if you look in the immediate block to the west or the immediate block to the east, we will see blocks of townhouses that are all under 7 meters. Those are more in the order of 5.5 to 6.9 meters in lot size. So I think today there exists examples, and in the next, 5 years, if I were to hazard a guess, we would have quite a number of examples with varied building types and lot sizes.
Thank you. So panel member.
Thank you. Thank you. Am I the only one who's having trouble with the audio? It's very difficult to hear the reply from the applicant.
Yes.
Is that just me, or
No,
for all the
it's
panel?
you. I just sent an email to Irving. I can't hear the applicant, and I've got constant feedback in the background.
Same here.
And I can't adjust the sound. It's very loud.
Members, we can hear you in the chambers fine. I don't know what the issue is, but we can hear you talking, and we can hear the agent talking.
Yes, online, Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer, there is an echo. And so anyone who speaks, there's another voice that comes on top of it. So it makes hearing it very, very difficult unless you speak very slowly.
Okay, we'll try to figure this out. We just want to make sure everybody else is muted who is not speaking.
You sound great, and so does Madam Chair, but everybody else is not.
So Madam Sankar, you can hearing me fine, right? Correct?
Yes.
Me and Secretary Treasurer. Yes, okay.
If there's no one else to speak, I can make a motion, but I'm not sure if my fellow colleagues heard well. I think I understood what was happening, but if my fellow colleagues have not heard, I will stand down.
Madam Chair, at this point, why don't you ask the members if they want anything repeated by the agent and give the agent another chance.
So Amber Stewart, we had some technical difficulties. Our panel member had difficulties hearing your comment. When they have a question from you, would you please repeat your answer so that they can hear it properly? And our staff are trying to take care of the problems here. Would you please?
Yes, I can. Does that seem to be a little better now, or is that just for me as well? No,
our
not
staff
really.
are working on it, so please continue.
Okay. So with your permission, I'll just speak slowly and allow the information to get in. So through you, Madam Chair, the question was about similar developments that are in the immediate area. I gave examples in the subject block of 5 lots that are either the same or very similar in lot size. So those were 293, 295, 271, 275, and 304 BOGERT. And they are all between 7.6 meters and 10.7 meters. And then in the two adjacent blocks, of course, we have the approved blocks of townhouses, which will be built presumably within the next few years. And what I will say as well is that BOGERT itself should be treated as the immediate neighborhood because of its nature as a transitional street. And when we drive up and down that street in the next few years, there are many examples of townhouses and severances that are either built already or will be built. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Panel member, did you hear it clearly or you want me to repeat?
That was clear for me, Chair. Thank you.
It was clear. Perfect.
That was clear. I did have a question about if they're still going to modify variance 3 if I missed that, according to the staff report. And out of the 5 homes, how many homes exist in approximately on BOGERT Avenue?
I'm sorry, I did not hear the last question.
So
Or the last
I
part of
just
the question.
want to understand how big that neighborhood is, because you've given 5 examples, but are we talking 5 out of 20 homes or 5 out of 200 homes?
Oh, the 5 examples that I gave were all in the immediate block itself. So if you just give me 1 minute. So that is 5 out of 27 homes, which are similar, same in the immediate block only. And in terms of BOGERT itself, there are 29 lots that are 7.62 meters or smaller, and that's 20%. So that's same or smaller. And then there are a number of other lots that are in a similar range. So, for example, on BOGERT itself, we have another 9 lots that are between 7.63 meters and 11.29 meters. And then if we look at smaller than 15 meters, which is smaller than the existing property, that's about 64%. So, in any event, I think that there is a very mixed character on BOGERT already, and a high representation of the smaller lot sizes on BOGERT and in the immediate context. And so, to your second question, through you, Madam Chair, about the side yard setbacks. You did ask about the side yard setbacks, right? That was a little tough for me to hear.
No, I asked about variance number 3, about the proposed height that staff report is asking to modify.
About the height?
Sorry, not that one. Sorry. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong staff report here. Okay.
So, Madam Sankar, the lot that are immediate are number 293, 295, 271, 275, and 304. The first question that you ask. Any other questions?
Yes, and that was 5 of 27 lots, not out of the whole neighborhood with hundreds, 5 of 27.
Yes. So any question from any panel member? No? Okay, if there is no question, can I get a motion? Yes, Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. Looking at this application, I always try to give the benefit of the doubt for everything and really weigh this. I do realize that there's no one to speak to the application. However, I do have to go by what staff who are experienced in this have had to say. I don't always follow everything, but in terms of reading the reasons as to why they would like this to be used, backed up by a counselor letter, and the fact that on the street there might have been 18% of homes that showed this, but in the larger context of the neighborhood, which is sometimes not just the street, but the larger surrounding area, that would be for me what determines character. And so I don't feel convinced that this application gives me enough assurance that it meets the four tests. And for that, I put forward a refusal on this application. That's my motion.
So we have a motion from Ms. Sankar to refuse this application. Do I have a second? So I have a seconded by Ron Hunt. All in favor? Opposed? Oh, all in favor. So your application unanimously refused. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
we actually have another deferral in the morning.
Yes,
It's item 11.
perfect. Item 11. We have another request for deferral, item 11. The address is number 37 LARABEE Crescent, and the agent have been submitted is Mirka Kulesa. Yes, good morning. Can I get your name
Good morning.
and address?
Just a second. I'm really struggling with sound quality here. Yes, I don't know what happened. I tried to request the deferral. I cannot really follow the sound, but due to some further work that is required to find a middle ground between
Excuse me,
owner's
sorry for
position
interrupting
and
you. We have a hard time hearing you. Would you please
Yes.
first state your name and address for the record, and then explain why you want the referral?
Okay, my name is Mirka Kulesa. I work in One Design Studio. We are the designers in the project. I'd like to request a deferral.
So what is your address? Sorry for interrupting you. We have a hard time hearing you. So would you please also state your address for the record?
It's 452 Tennyson Drive in Oakville.
Yes. Okay, so now would you please explain to us why you would like to get a deferral for this application?
We received some comments from planning following submission for submission to the building permit. Sorry. It's a very difficult lot with a very steep slope. And there are some differences, I believe, in interpretation of definitions of basement and floor.
Excuse me, we still have a problem hearing you. Sorry. Would you please just repeat it one more time? So you
Yes,
received,
we will
because
try.
you mentioned, as far as I've heard, you said you receive a city staff comment. We don't have any city staff report on this application. We only get a transportation report. So are you referring to
No,
transportation report?
We reached out to a planner on the project, and she gave us her comments. We would like to work with her and the owner to try to make some revisions to the project to make it acceptable to both sides.
Okay, I've just saw the staff report. Sorry for that. There is a staff report. Yes, please continue.
following the planners report, we were in touch with planner by email, and basically we knew what her comments were. Following the receipt of those comments, we decided the best way to proceed would be to make some revisions to the project. To do that, we had to work, of course, with the owner of the project. And it requires some time. That's why we would like to request the deferral.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I see there is a staff report dated May 18, 2023, and the city staff recommend this application to be deferred. So thank you very much for explanation. So panel member, so do you have, we have a deferral request from an applicant, and we have a staff report that that also recommend deferral. Can I get a motion? Yes, Mr. Kidd.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to comment that I heard none of the explanation from the applicant. However, I know that she is requesting a deferral, and that the city planning staff is asking for a deferral as well. But we'll put forward a motion to defer this application sine die. However, very, very difficult to hear.
So we have a motion from Mr. Kidd to defer, second by Mr. Hunt. All in favor? So we have all in favor to defer. So your application deferred sine die. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
no problem. So, Mr. Secretary Treasurer, we have a staff, our panel member have hard time hearing the applicant.
From our end, we can hear them.
Yeah, but they probably have difficulties hearing. Do you? So do you recommend everyone sign off and then we resume? No? Okay, so as far as I understand, it was from the applicant side, and our city staff will call each applicant so that we'll see if this win this way. If there is an issue, they will call, so we make sure that you will hear everyone clearly. Perfect. So item number 11 deferred. So we're going now to item number 2. Item number 2 is 25 Trailside Drive. We have an agent registered, Amy Powell. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Can yourself and the panel members hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you okay. Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Amy Powell, and my address is Unit A, 202 8th Avenue in New Tecumseh. Postal code is L9R0H5.
Thank you. Do you have any presentation or any comment? You have 5 minutes. You can.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So in lieu of a formal application, I just have some comments. Oh, I hear the feedback. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you okay.
Okay, thank you. So I just have some comments, Madam Chair, that I'd like to share with the committee members. So good afternoon, Madam Chair, committee members, staff, and members of the public in attendance. My name is Amy Powell, and I'm a registered professional planner and the Chief Planning Officer for Powell Planning and Associates. I'm here today to support the landowners of 25 Trailside Drive file number A0079-23NY, with their application for a minor variance to bring their as-built rear yard into compliance with the city's zoning bylaw concerning the soft landscape coverage. As a point of clarification on the file, the as-built rear yard soft landscape area represents 40% of the total rear yard, not 38% as presented in the original application submitted by the landowners. Through retaining my services last week, the landowners and myself were able to better assess the rear yard in accordance with the city's definition of soft landscaping as found in the zoning bylaw, where areas that were not applicable were taken out of the calculation and areas that were overlooked but qualify were added to the calculation. In understanding that staff may have only had the opportunity to review the original application standard of 38% soft landscape coverage and are recommending the soft landscape coverage be expanded to 42%, we ask for the committee today to consider how the application meets the required 4 tests of a minor variance in accordance with our updated submission and supporting materials, including the collection of 18 signatures of support from immediate and surrounding residents to the subject site. We have also provided a map identifying drainage patterns in accordance with the subject site to provide on-site context as to how this application is minor in nature and has no net negative impact. We thank the committee today for hearing this application and to staff for their review and patience and continued assistance as the landowners brought this application to its completion. And we look forward to a favorable decision considering the as-built condition, as well as that overall this ask is minor in nature with no significant opposition presented in accordance with the desired 40% variance. Thank you.
Thank you. We receive a letter from city staff report. Have you had a chance to review that report dated May 16, 2023? Hello?
Through you, Madam Chair, yes. Sorry, I was unable to unmute. Through you, Madam Chair, yes, I did review the city staff report, and I did mention it in the introduction to the file. The staff report notes that the 38% variance is applicable. However, as I noted, since being retained on the file, the landowners were able to redo the calculation in accordance with the zoning bylaws definition as to what constitutes as soft landscaping. And that number has since increased to 40% soft landscaping on the applicable site, not the 38% that was previously provided. So I understand that in principle, staff does not believe that this application offends the 4 tests of the minor variance because they are in favor of a 42% variance. And we ask the committee's consideration for today, given that there's an as-built condition of 40%, we're only at a very minor 2% deviation from what staff would support.
So, so you were modifying variance number 1. Are you modifying variance number 1, the proposed rear yard soft landscaping to 40%?
Through you, Madam Chair, yes, that is correct. Our supplementary materials that were submitted last week through the committee coordinator identified that there was an update to the plan that was submitted, as well as planning justification brief prepared by myself to substantiate this amended ask.
Okay, thank you very much. So, panel member, do you have any question from this applicant? So they modify variance number 1. The proposed rear yard soft landscaping is now 40%. Is there any other question, comment, or motion? Can you hear me okay? So we have an application. They propose to permit the reduction of minimum rear yard soft landscaping. The applicant modified variance number 1. So now the proposed rear yard soft landscaping is 40%, and we only have one variance. Is there any question or any motion? Oh, yes, Madam Sankar, please.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. Upon careful review of this application and looking at the staff report, which I saw that they did try to meet somehow an aspect of that, and then their explanations that addressed counselor letter and the numbers of letters of support, I'm going to put forward a motion to approve this application, and I will make it subject to the change made by the applicant here today, such that variance number 1 is increased 40%. That's my motion.
Thank you very much, Madam Sankar. We have a motion from Ms. Sankar, second by Ron Hunt. All in favor? Yes? Thank you very much. So your application approved unanimously.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and to the committee members. Wishing everyone a great afternoon.
Thank you. Same to you. So now we are going on item number 3. It's 1800-181 Bayview Street. The agent that have been registered is Naomi Mares. Good afternoon. Oh, sorry. So I apologize, the address is wrong. It's item number 3, 5220 Yonge Street. The agent on this application is Naomi Mares. Good afternoon.
Naomi, you've been unmuted.
Application number 3, 5220 Yonge Street. Perfect. So we will go on item number 4. Item number 4 is number 33 Whitelock Crescent. So we have Mr. Hamid Behesht on this application. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. I hope you can clearly hear me.
Yes, we can clearly hear you.
That's good. My name is Hamid Behesht from Homeland, the designer of the house from 49 Whitecliff Crescent in Toronto.
Okay, thank you. So do you want to, you have 5 minutes. If you have any comment, presentation, your 5 minutes.
Yes, I do have a presentation. If you would like, I will be very happy to have one.
It's your 5 minutes. You can use it as you wish.
All right then. I would like to ask Sam or Irving to show slide number 1, please, kindly. In slide number 1, we see this site plan of this property, in which I'm going to explain 4 of the variances. As you can see, we're dealing with a corner irregular property in which designing and working was not very easy. So I had to, first of all, push the building to the front. The reason for this is because the property is only 110 feet deep. It's relatively shallow property. And I wanted to push the building to the front and decrease the required front setback from 7.66 to 7 meters in order to create a little bit larger backyard for the homeowners. Because as you can see, the frontage is wider and the property gets narrower at the end, at the backyard. And then I wanted to use the widest point, wider portion of the property rather, in order to achieve a better design. The reduced front yard setback can be seen in color pink here. Secondly, I pushed the building by 1 foot to the west side and got it closer to the side, to the west side property at 31 Whitelock Crescent. I had a reason to do this. If you have a look at the site plan at the other side, which is the street side at Whitecliff Crescent, I have 2 healthy, beautiful city trees, and I wanted just to make the house as much away as possible from the city tree in order to mitigate and minimize the impact of that healthy city tree. Both of these items were done with 100% agreement of the owner of the neighboring house at 31 Whitelock Crescent, and at the end we have the supporting letters from this neighbor. Then thirdly, it is the deck at the backyard of this house. The as of right depth and size of the deck has been shown in color yellow here, and we have extended it by a tiny portion, which you can see in color blue. I usually do this extension because really the allowable 2.5 meters, I believe it's not wide enough for a regular deck. And I just want the homeowners to be able to enjoy their deck for the summer times. Finally, it is the other side yard setback, which I was supposed to have 3 meters from the slanted side yard, which was really not easy. So at the end, I have a little corner. It is so little that I even doubt if you can see it. It is the area which is shown by color red. It was supposed to be 3 meters, but at one point, in one corner only, I have 2.75, which is really minor. Kindly, if I can see drawing number 2, please. Here, I have proposed at the left side of the drawing, this is the shape of the stairs to the porch, which I have proposed. I only have 2 steps with 3 risers to the porch. In a kind of pentagon shape, with the size of the steps starting from something less than 2 meters and going to 2.66. But surprisingly, the zoning review read it as 6.72. When I complained, they said because of an interpretation of this zoning bylaw, and because we see 3 sides of these sets of stairs, they have come to this unbelievable large step, which is 3 times more than the reality. To cut the long story short, I have proposed the left side, and they have interpreted it to the right side, which doesn't exist in reality. The real width of the stairs are 2.66 only. Kindly, if I finally see drawing number 3.
You have less than 1 minute.
Yes, I can see it. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Here I have shown the extended height of the side wall in color pink, which is obviously for the creation of the second floor window, without which I wouldn't be able to have a second floor window or a very unusually short window. This is a dormer which, based on the recently revised zoning bylaw of Toronto, it was not even supposed to be in the list of variances, but for another interpretation, we see it here. But no matter what, with or without this minor variance, it doesn't have any effect on the size of the building or height of the building. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, staff, panel member, do you have any question or comment? No comment. So we received a letter from the staff dated May 16, 2023. Mr. Behesht, have you had a chance to review that report?
From the staff?
Yes.
No, unfortunately, I kept checking the panel and I didn't see anyone.
Staff will show it on the screen momentarily.
So staff posted a report on May 16. They also have a condition that the proposal be constructed in accordance with the east side elevation and side plan drawing attached as attachment 1 and 2 to the report. It's projected on the screen.
I have no problem with this condition.
Perfect. Thank you. So panel members, is there any question, comment, or motion? Yes, Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application, subject to the planning staff condition that the proposal be constructed in accordance with the east side elevation and the site plan drawings attached as attachment 1 and 2 to the planning staff report, and also subject to forestry condition number 1.
Thank you very much. We have a motion from Mr. Kidd to approve this application subjected to the condition of staff and also urban forestry condition. Second by Ms. Sankar. All in favor? Yes, so this application unanimously approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And again, I would like to wish that we can go back to the physical meetings like before without these delays and technical difficulties like good old days.
Yes, we are all looking forward to that, and all the staff are working on that. Thank you very much. So now we are going on item number 3. It's number 5220 Young Street. It's Naomi Mares. Good afternoon. We're going back on item number 3.
Naomi, you've been unmuted.
Good afternoon.
I guess. Staff are going to attempt to call on.
Okay, thank you very much. So item number 3.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, good afternoon. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon. My apologies for the technical difficulties. So my name is Naomi Maris, and my address is Brookfield Place, 181 Bay Street, Suite 1800, Toronto, Ontario, M5J 2T9.
Thank you. Do you have any comment, presentation before we go to committee?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, members of committee. I will speak slowly as I'm mindful of the feedback issue. I'm here today representing my client, the owner of the site at 5220, 5254 Yonge Street, G Group 5220 Yonge LTD, with respect to the enclosed minor variance application to permit a reduction in the required number of parking spaces per dwelling unit for residents. We've sent in 2 slides. They really just serve to show the site location and most of all, how the site is well served by transit. The site is currently under construction and nearing completion on a 31-story residential tower and a 10-story office tower situated atop a 2-story commercial podium. The building contains 301 condo residential units and 7 rental replacement units for a total of 308 residential units altogether. The underground parking garage has been built and 298 of the 301 condo units have been sold. However, purchasers have only purchased 185 of the available 271 residential parking spaces. with the demand or lack thereof for residential parking made clear to my client by their purchasers, and the site's proximate access to North York Centre Station on TTC Line 1, as well as bus routes, my client is seeking to reduce the residential parking rate in their site-specific bylaw from 0.9 per unit to 0.64 per unit. This rate includes the 185 parking spaces already purchased, plus a buffer of 5 extra parking spaces for any need in the future, as well as the 7 rental replacement parking spaces, 1 for each rental replacement unit. The remainder of the residential parking spaces would be reallocated to the commercial and visitor uses on the site, with the loss of 2 parking spaces to accommodate a more efficient underground layout and improved vehicle maneuvering. Community planning confirmed on May 17th that they will not be commenting. Transportation Services confirmed this morning that they had no concerns. Subject to any questions the committee may have, those are my submissions.
Thank you very much. So panel member, do you have any question, comment for the applicant? Any question, comment, or motion? Yes, Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think given the fact that there's no objection from city planning staff with regard to this application, I'm going to put forward a motion to accept the application without condition.
Okay, motion from Mr. Kidd, second by Ms. Sankar. All in favor? Yes, thank you very much. The application unanimously approved.
Thank you very much. And thank you for bearing with me through the technical difficulties.
Thank you. So now we're going on item number 5. Item number 5 is number 60 Tavistock Road. The agent is Ijuna Quilafi. Good afternoon.
Hello, Madam Chair. Hello, committee members. Can you hear me well?
Yes, good afternoon. Would you please state your name and address
Good afternoon.
for the record, please?
My name is Yona Chudafi. Address is 43 Plus Road, M3K 1K6 in the city of Toronto.
Thank you very much. So, do you have any comment or any presentation? You have 5 minutes before we go to committee. You can
Thank you.
as you wish.
Thank you. No particular presentation, but just several comments. The proposal for 60 Tavistock is to convert the existing rear garage into a garden suite. We're maintaining the first floor dimensions of the existing garage and adding the second story. In case the members have not had the opportunity to review the recent modifications, just wanted to summarize them. The agent has been in touch with staff members back and forth with the City of Toronto. They have recommended 3 variances to modify 3 variances. The first one is number 1 for the proposed rear yard setbacks to be moved from the original proposal of 0.37 meters of the second story to 0.75 meters. The second modification is variance number 3 for the proposed separation between the existing house and the garden suite to be moved from 6.02 meters to 6.63 meters, the existing separation. And the third modification is variance number 4, again for the proposed separation between the existing house and the garden suite to be moved from 6.02 meters to 6.63 meters, the existing separation. We have amended and followed the direction of the city staff recommendations. You will see them as attachment 1 and 2 in this application.
Okay, thank you very much. And since you mentioned that you're following staff recommendations, staff also recommend that you just have a condition. Have you had a chance to review that condition? That the
Yes, we've reviewed the condition and we have no issues with that condition.
Okay, thank you very much. So, panel members, any question, comment? No, Ms. Sankar, yes?
Just ready for a motion, Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
There are no other questions. I do believe that the applicant, modifying some of the variances to meet the staff's report, I think that may address some of the letters of objection that have come in as well. And since there's no one here to speak to this application further, I believe that it does meet the 4 tests, and our garden suites are well accepted and appreciated. So I'll put forward a motion to approve this application with the modification set by the applicant here today, that variance number 1, that the rear yard setback is now 0.75 meters on the second floor. Variance number 3 has been, increased to 6.63 meters, and variance number 4, the same, 6.63 meters, and that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the east side elevation drawing and site plan drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment on May 17th. That's my motion.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sankar. Anyone seconded? Mr. Hahn seconded. All in favor? Yes. So this application unanimously approved with the changes that you presented. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, committee members. Have a wonderful day.
You too. So application item number 6 have been deferred. So now we are going to item number 7. Item number 7 is 44 Dudley Avenue. And we receive a staff report on this application and also a forestry report. The agent registers is Victor Gilbert. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, committee members. My name is Victor Gilbert. I'm the agent for this application and representing the owner of the number 44 Dudley Avenue.
Would you please state your address as well, Mr. Gilbert?
Yes, 33 Belvedere Crescent in Richmond Hill.
Thank you very much.
The application in front of you to build a new house with integral garage, and we had some consultation with staff, which actually reflected in the staff report. So as a result of this consultation, we're modifying variance number 3. Proposed building height will be 10.2 meters instead of originally proposed 10.31 meters. And we also attached to our application the sketch showing proposed privacy screens for second floor balcony. Talking about application itself, variance number 1 is pretty standard for the area, 32% increase in lot coverage. Variance number 2 and 4 dealing with the new definition of first floor approved by municipal board recently. And as a staff report indicated, the lot, we have basement walkout situation. So basement at the rear grade goes down, drops down, and it looks like a 3-story house from the backyard, but that's existing topographic condition. And at the front, it's more like a full-size basement. And also that makes the second story identified as the third story, and obviously the balcony balcony on the first floor become the second floor balcony. So it's a standard deck which you can see in many houses in the area. A small increase in the building height is mostly because we are maintaining positive driveway slope. And as I mentioned, the grade goes down right from the curb, and we had to build up the driveway to achieve minimum required positive slope for the driveway. So that makes our established grade being lower than elevation at curb cut, and so that basically that triggers a small increase in the building height, which we reduce after consultation with the staff. So that basically concludes my presentation. And if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer.
Thank you very much. Would you please repeat the variance number 3? The proposed building height is now how much?
Now 10.2 meters.
Thank you very much. So we have an area resident registered, Angela Finkel and Russell Ross. Good afternoon.
Madam Chair, both individuals are currently not on the call and has stated that they will not be participating. However, they have submitted a written submission that reflects their opinion of the application.
Okay, thank you very much. So the letter is on our package. Panel member, do you have any question, comment, motion? Yes, Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application as revised, variance number 3, to read the proposed building height is changed from 10.31 meters to 10.2 meters. I'd like to make it subject to the condition in the planning staff report that the privacy screen on the north side of the rear platform be developed in accordance with the north side elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment on May 17, attached as attachment 1 to the planning staff report, and also subject to forestry condition number 2.
Thank you very much. We have a motion from Mr. Kidd. There's second by Mr. Hunt. All in favor? Yes, this application unanimously approved with the changes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now we are going on item number 8. The address is 642 Briar Hill Avenue. So the agent is Carlos Pierozzi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon. Would you please state your name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Carlo Pierozzi of 467 Spears Road in Oakville, L643.
So we have,
6K3.
thank you very much. We have an area resident registered also to comment on this application. So do you have any presentation comment?
Madam Chair, the area resident does not appear to be on the call.
Okay, thank you for the update. So you have 5 minutes.
I don't plan on making a presentation. I just wanted to mention that there's letters of support. 2 are immediately adjacent neighbors to the left, to the east, and to the west. There was no report from staff. The variances are very minor in nature, and therefore I ask the committee to approve this application as is.
Excuse me, sorry, we can't hear you clearly. It's all the voice come like a broken.
Carlo, it appears that you have 3 instances of the WebEx meeting open on your device. If you could please close the other like web applications and only have one instance open.
I don't see the other instances. Oh, hold on. Okay. Is that better? Hello?
Hello?
Is that better?
Can you just continue so we can see?
Carlo just dropped off the call. I will attempt to. I'll call him and put him on speaker.
Thank you very much.
Can we go to the next? We'll move on to the next item, and then I'll attempt to contact.
So we will go to the next item, and then the staff trying to call the yes applicant afterwards. So now we are going on item number 9. Item number 9 is 60 Ravenscroft Circle. The agent for this application is Michael Zhang. Good afternoon. Item number 9.
Michael, you've been unmuted.
Okay. Hey, hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name
Please
is
state your name and address for the record.
my name is Michael Zhang. I'm located in the 297 Hillcrest Avenue.
Yes.
And so we have 11 variances in total. And I can explain one by one.
You have 5 minutes. You can use it as you wish. And also, I want to draw your attention that we received a staff report dated May 18th with one condition. So please proceed.
Yes. So based on the staff report, most of all the variances are supported. And for this lot, this is a pie-shaped lot. It's widened at the back. And for the first item, actually the majority of the setback is compliant to the zoning. And for the item 2, is we only widen the stairs for the front entrance. So we got wider from 2 meter to 2.65 meter. For the item 3 is also the same thing because the pie shape is only a pinch point of the bay window encroach 1.42 meters. Item number 4 is the same thing. Majority of them are compliant to the zoning. It's only a part of it. It's just because the cause of the nature of the lot. For the item 5, this is a quite common practice in this neighborhood. So we increase the coverage from 30% to 32%. Yeah. And number 6, for the exterior height of the wall, zoning was asking for 7.5 meters for 70%. Yeah, but for at least 70%. But what we have is 68%. It's just more window on that side. And with item 7, it's the same thing as well. I mean, majority of the house frontage, front facade is compliant with the zoning, but only a pinch point is get cut on the corners. Same as number 8. And for the number 9, it's just only because the middle point of the basement is higher than the established grade. It's only a little bit higher. Yeah. I think it's because the nature grading, and we have these variances. So it's not really a 3-story house. It's still a 2-story house with on top of the garage. Also for number 10, most of them is even wider than 1.8 meters. It's only the front 1 point. It's close to the neighbor side to have the setback with the 1.53 meters. For the number 11, we still we asking for these variances, and we have more than 4 feet more feet from the property line.
Thank you very
I think
much.
all these, yeah, sorry.
So finish?
Yeah, I think all these are minor variances, and we should get this one approved.
Thank you very much. So panel member, do you have any question, comment? You can't hear? Madam Sankar? You can hear. Perfect. So we have an application. Yes? Yes, Mr. Kidd?
I'm ready for motion if you like.
Yes, please proceed.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to put forward, I feel this is an appropriate proposal and minor in nature. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application and make it conditional to the planning staff report that the proposal be developed in accordance with the site plan drawing and the east and west side elevation drawing submitted to the Committee of Adjustment and attached as attachments 1, 2, and 3. And also make it subject to forestry condition number 1.
Thank you very much. So we have a motion from Mr. Kidd to approve this application with 1 staff condition and also urban forestry condition number 1. Anyone seconded? Yes, Ms. Sankar seconded. All in favor? Opposed? So Mr. Hunt.
Madam Chair, yes, Madam Chair, I am having an extremely difficult time hearing the presentations. So I've sent an email to Simon explaining my dilemma. So I will abstain from this.
Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Kidd, second by Ms. Sankar. All in favor? Yes, so the application approved with the conditions.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Mr. Hunt, we can hear you clearly. And we can.
Yes, as I said, I'm hearing background feedback as I speak, and I can't hear the applicants. I can hear you clearly, but I can't hear Paul and Nadini clearly. So I'm missing a lot of the information.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see. So how about we get a break, and then the city staff will just reset the system and then see if they can address your issue. So how about, how long? 10 minutes, 15 minutes? So we will get a 10-minute break. So see you at 1:10, 10 past 1. Members? Panel members? Panel members? Ms. Sankar? Mr. Kidd? Okay, hi. Okay, so we will start with item number 8. Item number 8 is address 642 Briar Hill Avenue, and the agent is Carlos Pirozzi. Good afternoon. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Carlo Pirozzi, 467 Spears Avenue in Oakville, L6K3S4.
Your voice is echoing.
He's on. He's. Okay, so expel. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Carlo Pirozzi, 467 Spears Avenue in Spears Road in Oakville, L6K3S4.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So we have two neighbors registered, but they're absent, and so panel member, do you need any presentation?
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you very well. Oh, yeah, no, I don't plan on presenting. I just want to point out that there's 8 letters of support, and 2 are the immediate neighbors to the east and to the west. Also, I believe the application is minor in nature, and I therefore ask for your approval.
Perfect. So, yes, Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, if there's no questions, I'm ready for a motion.
Yes.
I do believe that the agent is correct in that I do believe that this is a minor application. There's an outstanding amount of support and no concerns by way of staff reports. I think for this application, I'll put forward a motion to approve this application, making it subject to forestry.
Thank you very much. A motion from Ms. Sankar to approve this application subjected to a forestry report. Anyone seconded? Yes, seconded by Mr. Kidd. All in favor? Yes, this application unanimously approved. Thank you very much. So now we're going to item number 10. Item number 10 is 353 Broadway Avenue. So the agent register is Parisa Amiri. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, Madam Chair. This is Parisa Amiri from ARPA Architects. I'm the agent and the applicant on this application.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So panel member, do you need any presentation from Ms. Amiri? No presentation. Any question? No? So Ms. Amiri, do you want to add anything, any comment, anything before we go to committee?
No, the variance is very, very minor, and it's only one regarding the rear deck, and I think it's pretty clear.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. So, yes, Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, if there's no one to speak to this, I think it is self-explanatory. I believe one minor variance and no one to speak to this, and I see it as pretty minor, and I think it meets the four tests. So a motion to approve this application as is.
Thank you very much. A motion from Ms. Sankar, second by Mr. Hunt. All in favor? Yes, thank you very much. So your application unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 11 have been deferred. So now we're going item number 12. Item number 12 is 23 Dunbridge Drive. So the agent is Victor Gilbert. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, committee members. My name is Victor Gilbert. I'm an architect representing the owner of the house, and I reside at 33 Belvedere Crescent in Richmond Hill.
Thank you very much. So there is no one registered to speak. Panel member, do you need any presentation? No question? Yes, Mr. Kidd? So
I don't need the presentation, but I just saw one question here. If you can explain how, going from the permitted 4 square meters to the proposed 40.36 meters, how can we consider that a minor variance, if you would, please?
Actually, I didn't mention that we are revising our variance from 40.36 meters to 18.85 meters. So our variance have been revised. I informed Committee of Adjustment about that and in an email. So basically, we discussed the proposal with the neighbors, and they expressed some concerns about balconies being too big. So the owner decided to reduce the size of the balconies. So now the variance we're requesting now is 18.85 meters instead of 14.36 meters. And on this variance, we received 4 letters of support from adjacent neighbors. And also, I want to mention that this lot is a ravine lot, so basically in a pie-shaped lot. So there's no neighbors' privacy affected on the immediate backyard. So basically, in our opinion, this application does not create any substantial precedent in terms of second floor balconies, and also we are providing privacy screenings on each side of the adjacent neighborhood.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear most of that. Are you proposing to modify your application?
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
So, Mr. Kidd,
I was asking if you were proposing to modify your application.
That's right. Yeah. The application is modified, and the requested variance is 18.85 instead of 40.36.
Again, that was 18.85.
That's correct. Yeah.
Thank you.
any question from panel member? So the variance number 1 have been modified from 40.36 square meter to 18.85. Yes, Mr. Kidd?
I'm ready for a motion if you like.
Yes, proceed.
Yeah, I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application as amended, variance number 1, the proposed area of each platform at or above second story is changed from 40.36 square meters to 18.85 square meters, and without condition.
Thank you very much. We have a motion from Mr. Kidd to approve this application, second by Ms. Sankar. All in favor? Yes, this application unanimously approved with the modification that you provided. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
So now we are on item number 13, 155 Brooke Avenue. And we have an area resident registered to speak to this application, and we have Mr. Rovinoff as an agent. So good afternoon.
It's Glenn Rubinoff.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, it's Glenn Rubinoff. Rubinoff Design Group, 18 Gloucester Lane, Toronto.
Thank you. So because we have an area resident registered to speak, would you please provide us a short presentation?
Sure thing. Well, the application is for a new house at 155 Brooke Avenue. There are 8 variances before you. However, variance number 8 is under the old bylaw. It's no longer applicable. We had confirmation from the building department that we no longer require that. So variance number 8 can be removed. Just wanted to update that. We did a study in the area with a map to illustrate comparables of what has been rebuilt in the area. And this is fairly typical, fairly standard in the area. Yeah, there's an area map there. The subject property is in the pink. And as you can see, there's a lot of development, comparable variances to what we're. There was some concern expressed a neighbor at 153 with regards to setbacks and privacy. I will point out that the existing house on the property right now is closer to the property line than what is proposed. They're actually moving further away from it, because one of her concerns was about access on her property. So that's an improved situation. With regards to privacy, we're fine with having a privacy screen facing her yard, which would be the east side yard. That's really, I mean, the variances before you, I feel that those are fairly minor in nature, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have Mr. Kristen Gold, one of the area residents. So good afternoon.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes.
And it's Mrs. Kirsten Gold.
I apologize. So please state your
That's okay.
and address for the record.
It's Kirsten Gold at 153 Brooke Avenue. Because of the static, I didn't really get what the gentleman said about privacy screen. So I did not understand his point. So if someone could clarify that for me before I speak, that would be good.
So, Mr. Rubinoff, would you please repeat about the comment regarding the privacy screen that you mentioned in your presentation?
Yes, thank you. Because of the concern for privacy, my client is happy to provide a privacy screen from the deck on her side so that she does not feel encroached upon in terms of privacy.
Okay. I'm actually not sure I want the privacy screen on my deck. However, and thank you for posting the neighborhood picture. They're all from the front, and as you can see, they're all aligned. And the house that's being proposed is similar to the house that I am currently living in. And I would hope that it would be aligned with all the new houses in the backyard. My concern is that, as far as I can tell, that about half of my deck will now be facing a brick wall. And the three new houses adjacent to me and two over are all, so just like they're aligned in the front, they could be aligned in the back. The brick wall will definitely affect the light going into my porch underneath, is where my disabled lives. And he too will now be looking at the wall. So I'm a little concerned about that. I too am an immigrant family and have waited my whole life for this house that I'm in. And now, the view is going to be compromised because of the length of the house. And it actually is breaking precedence with the backyards neighborhood because it is going beyond other new builds on the street. So I just wanted to point that out. My son needs independence, and I noted in your literature for the Committee of Adjustment that you're talking about the enjoyment of property, and I do feel that the length of the house will affect my enjoyment, and then of course attached to that it will be the deck. So that was my first point. My next point was that the houses in this neighborhood traditionally have driveways between them. And as builders have been building new houses, they take up more and more square footage of the property. And so I am concerned about the passageway. I hear you that I think I gain an extra 6 inches, but I know that I will have to make concessions to the builders for them to put up that brick wall, because they will put scaffolding up. And I'm concerned about how long that will be up. I've got construction going on all around me. I know construction is delayed. I'm worried about the passageway, about debris falling. So I just want to point that out. I'm a little nervous about that.
So you have 30 seconds. Please wrap up.
Yes, I appreciate that builders want to make money, that the North York wants to collect taxes, but I mean, we have bylaws for a reason, and I really hope that I have some rights too and some concessions. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So, panel member, do you have any question from this neighbor? No question? Okay, then Mr. Rubinoff, would you please answer the neighbor's concern?
Sure. The concern expressed seemed to suggest an access concern from the property. The driveway for our proposed house is not next to her, it's on the other side. So the driveway will not have any impact on her in terms of being encroached upon. She's at 153 and the driveway is adjacent to 157, the driveway. And as I mentioned, the new house is proposed to be further from the property line than what she is currently facing. In some cases, the existing house is maybe 6 inches from the property line in some parts of it, but we are wholly at 2 feet. And she's at 4 feet, so there's at least 6 feet between the homes, which I think would minimize the impact on her and access. City planning has not commented on this file. They felt that it does fit in with redevelopment in the area, and we want the neighbor to feel comfortable and not feel looked upon. So that's why we offered the privacy screen for the rear deck. But certainly, the on-site construction issues would be brought up to her prior to any work being done to ensure that there's minimal impact during construction. Thank you.
Thank you, panel member. Yes, Ms. Nadini Sankar.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. I understand that Mr. Rubinoff has agreed to put up a privacy fence and to eliminate variance number 8. But from the neighbor's objection, who is a direct neighbor, and maybe he tried to explain this, but I need a clearer picture. She's concerned about variance number 2 in terms of the building lengths impacting her, as well as the east side setbacks, which is variance number 4 and 5. I'd like to hear from Mr. Rubinoff how he doesn't see that impact as major.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sankar. Through you, Chair, the building length is permitted to be 17 meters. We have a variance for an additional 1.2 meters, which is about 4 feet. In consideration of the distance between buildings, I do not believe that the additional 4 feet will have the impact that might be the case if they're right up against each other, such as an addition on the home as is existing. It would be more of an impact. As far as side yard setbacks, we do have a bigger side yard setback on the other side. So we're at 0.6 on that side and 0.9 on the other side, which is on a 30-foot lot. It's not unusual side yards to be like that. There's definitely a space between the homes, which I think should not cause any overshadowing or negative impacts upon her. I do understand the concern you expressed about the length. When you look at the current situation with the existing house, hers was a newer house, with us being in a smaller, it's kind of changing a little bit here. But as you can see, many of the homes in the area have asked for additional length just because of the nature of the fact that the lot is 131 feet deep. It's not a shallow lot. There's still over 45 feet of setback to the rear yard. So we're not even approaching a minimum in any way. There's plenty of room back there. So it's really just more of a, I understand the concerns about impact, but I believe it will be less than
Mr. Rubinoff, the impact on the side yard setback does go deeper than that. The person, Ms. Gould, who spoke, also wrote a letter saying that she has a disabled son that lives with her and that uses this side entrance to get to the back. That is how he's able to be wheeled in through the back. And, you know, yes. I think that there are some concerns about how that is accessed and if that can actually fit it with an air conditioning pad that's on the ground, etc. You know,
I understand. I'm just saying that the current situation is less width to go alongside than what we're proposing. We are improving it. I do think that, you know, the squeeze happens where the existing house is. I'm not sure that the length would be, you see the dotted line there on the right-hand side of the house, that's where the existing house is. So whatever access concerns they have, it's going to just make more airspace, more openness there as a result of this. But I don't think it's going to affect in a negative way the ability to get to the backyard for her son. And I do appreciate that comment. I really do. As someone who has a family member with a disability, I'm very conscious of that myself.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? If there is no other question, can I get a motion? Yes, Ms. Sankar.
I'm still worried about the east side setback, so I'm not hearing, like, I just want to definitively understand again. Sorry about this, but, it's probably because of the noise that I keep hearing that I'm not hearing what I need to clearly. But are you saying that on her side, even with this access, there is enough room to walk through her side, move a wheelchair, move a lawnmower? I need to understand that.
So just to be clear, there's no right of way. She's entirely on her property with regards to access. I think one of her comments in her letter was that we not put up a fence, which I agree there would be no value to putting up a fence on the property line. But having said all that, there's no encroachment to her access from the front to the back.
Okay, I've heard you now clearly. Okay, thank you. I'm ready for a motion, Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
So, given the explanations provided by the agent here today, which took some time for us to work through with the noise barriers, I will put forward a motion to approve this application with the changes that were made by the applicant here today, such that variance number 8 is eliminated, and that he does construct a privacy fence specific to the east side with that neighbor, I believe, 253, so that it stands from floor to height, a minimum of 5 feet in length. Along that side so that we can give the neighbors some privacy. And given the explanations, I think I find this application acceptable based on those parameters. And so that's my motion. And it is also subject to vote. Thank you.
Sorry, and also subjected to Sorry, I didn't hear the last part of your motion.
I believe I had said subjected to forestry. That's
Okay,
what.
thank you. And we have a motion from Ms. Sankar, second by Mr. Kidd. All in favor? Yes, so this application unanimously approved with the modification and the condition.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Application number 14 is 102 Spring Garden Avenue, and the applicant is Craig Race. Agent for this application is Craig Race. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon. Would you please state your name and address for the record?
Craig Race, 282 Richmond Street East.
Thank you. So we have some area resident, 4 area resident registered to speak in this application. So would you please provide us a small presentation?
Certainly. If staff could please share our supporting material, I would appreciate it. The application is for a garden suite in the rear yard of a residential property. Of note to the committee is that the only variances required are a result of the zoning bylaw for this small portion of North York being a site-specific one, where the garden suite policy was not updated when it was applied to the entire city of Toronto. As noted on the project context map, the area highlighted in yellow immediately adjacent to this area is a typical residential zone where garden suites are permitted as of right. The white area is the site-specific zoning bylaw that has not been changed. Aside from that, all aspects of this application have been designed to comply with what would be the as-of-right garden suite bylaw. In addition, all trees on the site are being maintained and construction is limited to beyond required tree protection zones. And finally, the suite is family-oriented in its configuration. It has a visitable bedroom suite on the ground floor suitable for aging in place, as well as a total of 2 bedrooms plus den, focusing on the family-oriented nature of this rental opportunity. I would be pleased to answer.
So you finished with your presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
And is there any modification to the application? No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. So we will now call some of the area residents who registered. The first one on my list is Sam Lee. Good afternoon.
Madam Chair, Sam Lee does not appear to be on the call.
Okay, so the next person that have been registered on my list is Ufin Mock. Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, good afternoon. Please state your name and address for the record.
Before I speak, I want to say something.
Yes.
Okay, because of my neighborhood, a lot of them didn't receive the letter.
So sorry, would you please first state your name and address for the record before you start your presentation or discussion? Thank you.
Okay, my name is Yufin Mock, 98 Spring Garden Avenue.
Thank you.
Okay, before I speak, I want to ask if we can adjourn the meeting because a lot of neighbors did not receive the letter and they said they didn't know the notice is posted on the door of the 102 Spring Garden and the notice is 12 meters away from the curb. And they don't know about this hearing.
We will ask the agent to address this issue. Is there any question?
Madam Chair, she's asking for deferral, so it's best that you discuss this option at some point during this hearing.
Okay. So we have a deferral request from one of the neighbors, and we have also other people to speak. So,
can you ask other people to speak whether they want to adjourn the meeting?
So we will give them their own time. So if you have 5 minutes, if you have any question and comment. So we heard you request a referral, but if you have any other comments, you can comment, and we can call the other 2 people who registered. And I've already mentioned the panel member that you request for referral.
Okay, I have another question because Mrs. Wong is with me. She is not from 96 Spring Garden, and she is technology in provision. She doesn't know how to use a computer, and she cannot submit the form. So her letter of objection is with me, and she doesn't know how to do voice audio, and she doesn't know how to do virtual meeting. So can she speak? She's beside me. Can she speak as well?
Yes. Is it resident on 96 Spring Garden Avenue?
Yes.
Yes. If they have a technical, definitely. Yes.
Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah, they can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
So after I speak, can she speak as well?
Yes. After you finish your speech, yes, the neighbor who is next to you can speak because the name is also registered on my list.
Yeah, and I have some neighbor, they were away, number 90, they were away, and they couldn't join as a speaker. They can only observe. That's why they request whether the meeting can be adjourned.
Okay, so we will, we don't have any one item with the address 90 Spring Garden Avenue, but please proceed with your question, and then we will just ask the panel member for their opinion. For the referral, do you have any concern apart from deferral request? Do you have any other comments you want to provide us?
Yes, I have comments.
Please proceed.
For today. Okay, basically, I'm not pleased with their proposal. First of all, this is not a minor variance. This is a major variance to me. So the by law 7625, item number 1, 2, 3, they are all major variance to me. My concern is the privacy. That I have a big block of cement sitting at the backyard of number 102, and it blocks all the sunshine from the east. And it blocked the view for me overlooking the park on the east side and the parking lot of the church. And with a 2-story building, it is a major variance. And the window of the building facing our backyard, overlooking to our backyard and my window at the master bedroom suite, and the bathroom and the windows. Beside privacy, that's safety issue to me. Our backyard, all our neighbor, 98, 100, and 102, we have no fences because we have been neighbor for 30 years almost. And we have a very open concept of the backyard, and it is private. So if there's another house built at the backyard, we feel that that is intruding and insecure and low private. And also, I have a problem with the noises and the cloudiness overlooking the property. And also the look of the building is like, if you see the draft of the drawing, it's just like a cement, like it's a big block of thing, has no design, and look at it, all blocking all the sunlight over my backyard. So, and the height, it's 2-story building is too much. And also, this is change the characteristic of the neighborhood. And our parking area on the street is only one side parking already. So if there's more another household living there, that will be an issue. And also, I talk about sunlight, I talk about view, and I talk about the bylaw. It's not a minor variance according to this committee adjustment and variances. This is a major variance to us. So I'm not very happy with this proposal.
Okay. So you
So also the neighbor that doesn't know about the hearing, they don't know that even they don't receive the letter, they can join. That's the issue. A lot of people miss this. They cannot submit their objection letter and they cannot join the meeting.
So you have less than 1 minute to wrap up, please.
So I request the committee to negate the proposal.
Okay, thank you very much. Just want to comment on some of your concerns. This committee is not dealing with the noise and the design, and regarding the height, we don't have any variance in front of us. We have 3 variances, and later I'll ask the agent to explain further. So now your time, your 5 minutes is finished. Do you want to give the your neighbor located on 96 Spring Garden, V. Sue, to speak?
Okay.
Yes, my name is Wishi Wang. I'm really grade 98.
Would
I
you
don't
please,
like it.
sorry for interrupting you. Would you please state your address as well for the record?
Okay. My name is Wishi Wang. I live at 96 Spring Garden.
Yes.
I really agree with 98, what they say, because my area, everybody's backyard is really narrow. They build 2 stories big house, really bother us. Review and security and everything. So that's why I agree with 98. And also my whole neighborhood didn't like it. We talked to them already. They said that they didn't got your letter, but they strongly against their build the big house in our backyard.
Thank you. Do you have any further comment?
I think a community will be think about this, but if they build a house, really bother whole neighborhood. And we were really strongly not like them to do this.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment. So we will have one more area resident to speak. So the next person on my list is Stephen Locke. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Locke. I'm living in the 100 Avenue.
Would you
Okay,
please
so,
state,
my
sorry, your voice is kind of broken. Would you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Okay, my name is Stephen Locke, 100 Spring Garden Avenue.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I ask my daughter to speak because I think her English is better than me?
Sorry, we can't, we have a hard time to hear you clearly. What was your question?
Can I assign my daughter to speak because she's better to speak? I think my English is not as good as her, so can I ask her to speak out? Can you hear me?
Stephen, you're having some audio issues. I'm gonna attempt to call the number that you've registered with, and I'll put you on speakerphone to speak. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Stephen, if you please mute your computer device and just solely have the audio playing on your phone.
Okay, I did know already. So is it okay now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Great, thanks a lot. My name is Stephen Locke. I'm living in the 100 Spring Garden Avenue. So I'm going to assign my daughter who's sitting beside me to speak on behalf of me. Can I?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Amanda, and I also currently live in 100 Spring Garden Avenue. This garden suite will have a significant impact on the surrounding neighborhood and our own home, and we're expressing our opposition due to the following reasons. Number one, impact to our view. This garden suite will be visible from all our windows facing the backyard, and the view of our backyard will forever be altered, with the garden suite blocking a large part of our view, a view that we have loved and look at every morning and multiple times every day for all our lives for the past 24 years. Number two, the impact to the value of our property. During and after construction, the value of our property will no doubt decrease. No individual or family would want to purchase a home that has issues relating to safety and privacy, noise and nuisance, air pollution, both during and after construction. Number three, impact to the neighborhood character. Spring Garden Avenue is a street that was designed to be a low-density, single-family area. Evidence of this can be seen as it's located in a cul-de-sac. The applicant's proposal to construct a second home on their lot is not a minor variance, but instead it's a major change to many of its neighbors and runs contrary to the official plan and zoning of the area. This neighborhood is filled with single-family dwellings and has been so for the past 30 years. By building a garden suite in the middle of a backyard, it interrupts and doesn't represent the established physical character of the neighborhood. And most importantly, the application is contrary to the Planning Act and City Plan. So the minor variance application pursuant to bylaw number 7625 and section 7.2.1 can't be viewed as a minor variance, but instead it's major. Issue number four, we will all definitely be paranoid during construction, with construction workers who are strangers to us walking back and forth, as well as after construction, with the garden suite facing our backyard windows and screen door. According to discussions with the owners of 102 Spring Garden Avenue, their plan is to remove the fence between 102 Spring Garden Avenue and the parking lot of 112 Spring Garden Avenue, which is Spring Garden Church, in order to be able to move the materials and tools needed for construction. This is very concerning in terms of my family's safety. There is no fence between our property, 100 Spring Garden Avenue, and 102 Spring Garden Avenue. That means that during construction, any individuals, strangers, vehicles, wild animals, etc., would be able to access our backyard anytime and any day, as they would be able to simply walk from the parking lot of 112 Spring Garden Avenue across the backyard of 102 Spring Garden Avenue to our backyard. And so we've been deeply distressed and uneasy about the issues affecting our family's safety and privacy. As also there is no fence between our property, 100 Spring Garden Avenue, and 98 Spring Garden Avenue. The same exact issues exist for 98 Spring Garden Avenue. And this will absolutely impact our mental health and our psychological thoughts during and after construction. We have already had many sleepless nights after we heard about this proposed garden suite. Number 5, air pollution. During construction, there will no doubt be quite a lot of construction pollution, which is a source of pollution that will impact surrounding communities. The two main types of construction pollution are dust and diesel emissions. According to studies, diesel exhaust is known to cause cancer. Moreover, my parent, which used to be a resident of 100 Spring Garden Avenue, passed away less than a year ago due to lung cancer. The construction pollution will be a constant reminder of what caused them to be sick in the first place and what ultimately resulted in their passing. And I don't need that constant reminder every day during construction, knowing that the clean air that our family breathes in inside our house will now be contaminated with the construction pollution from outside, a cause of my parents' death. Issue number 6, noise and nuisance issues. During construction, there will no doubt be very loud noises throughout the day. We will not be able to concentrate and do our work from home jobs if there are loud noises in the background of our client calls and work throughout the day. This will certainly affect our mental health and our jobs. Issue number 7, lack of sunlight on our backyard. This garden suite will be to the east of our backyard.
Sorry, you have 1 minute. Please wrap up.
And darkness on our backyard, meaning that a large part of the grass in our backyard will not be receiving sufficient sunlight, and so there will be a patch of grass in the middle of our backyard being unhealthier and more yellow than the other grass in our backyard. Overall, there is no advantage to this garden suite, both during and after construction. It only results in incontestable disadvantages to our neighborhood that we spent all of our lives and call home. No longer if the garden suite is built. And it results in disadvantages to our family safety and to our mental health. We have already had sleepless nights after we heard about this proposed garden suite, and this has really affected our mental health. And similar to what 98 Spring Garden said, we would also strongly recommend a deferral as she said, as a lot of our neighbors did not receive the notice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just would you please repeat your name and family name and address for the record, because we didn't get it earlier. Hello?
Sorry, could you repeat that again? Sorry.
Would you please repeat your name and family name and your address one more time for the record?
My name is Amanda Locke, and I also live at 100 Spring Garden Avenue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. So we would like to invite the agent to come back and then answer the concerns of the neighbors. Craig Grace.
Yes. Perhaps I can start by addressing the request for deferral. I do not believe it would be appropriate to have a deferral due to circulation of notices. As far as we're aware, all mail-out notices were sent to all surrounding neighbors, and the sign was reviewed and approved by city staff. So all public notice was circulated. We do not believe a deferral would be appropriate here. With respect to some of the comments, there were a few comments related to height, shadow, privacy, etc. I will note again that there are no variances for height, angular plane requirements, setbacks, building area. We went to great lengths to ensure that this suite complies with all aspects of the garden suite bylaw. However, this area, this small stretch of houses, is simply a victim of an ancient zoning bylaw that was not updated as part of the garden suite policy being enacted in Toronto. Garden suites are an as-of-right use for 99.99% of houses in Toronto. This is simply a situation where the bylaws were stuck in the past and unable to be updated. The garden suite policy was put in place by council to increase the supply and type of housing available in the city. Garden suites are one of many policies the City of Toronto is leading through its expanding housing options in neighborhoods initiative to encourage property owners to develop secondary and ancillary dwelling units in an effort to address housing diversity and affordability in established neighborhoods. Those are not my words. I took those from the City of Toronto website. I'll also note that it is provincial law that all residential sites in Ontario have permissions to construct a secondary detached suite. And this is a situation where bylaws have not caught up to current provincial and even city policy. Aside from that, this application complies with all the intents of the Garden Suite bylaw that protect things like shadow and perceived massing from neighbors. And we believe it's a very suitable application. Thank you. Please to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. So panel member, is there any question for the agent? Yes, Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a comment rather than a question. I'm having extreme difficulty with respect to the fact that the three variances are all in contravention of bylaw 7625. And the notion of a deferral, given that there is no report from planning or comment, makes it very difficult for me to support this. So that's my comment about this application.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Sorry, Mr. Hunt, did you say you were for or against the deferral? I just wanted some clarity on that.
No, I believe a deferral. I'd like to hear from the planning department on the issue of why this is not in, because technically it is in contravention of the bylaw in all three instances of variation requests. So I would say that I would support a deferral, but I can't support an approach. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if planning responds.
We are double checking with the staff. Yes, Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Maybe while the staff's doing that, I have a question from the agent. I'd just like a little more clarification about why this area is not included in the Garden Suite bylaw. In his discussion with the city, was there ever any indication given that there was an intention to exclude this area, that they felt this area was not appropriate for garden suites, or just a little, if I could get a little more explanation about why this area is not subject to the garden suite bylaw?
Yes, sir. There are several small site-specific zoning policies across Toronto, such as this one, that predate the current unified zoning bylaw. When the Garden Suite policy was passed, it only affected the unified bylaw and not the site-specific regions. There have been instances where specific areas of the city were excluded from the Garden Suite policy. This was not one of those areas. And in fact, those areas where they were excluded previously have since been removed due to the passing of Bill 23, which is the provincial legislation that should require all residential properties to have as-of-right entitlements to detached secondary suites. So our understanding is simply that this is an administrative delay and something that is too site-specific to have been on their radar previously. We hope it will change to be corrected soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, Mr. Hunt, you also have a question?
No.
You don't have a question. Thank you.
There is no staff report on file. So my reading is, if there is no staff report, then planning had no concerns with this application.
Thank you.
Did you want to still go on and discuss the deferral?
Yes, you can still have an option to defer this application if you want. It's up to you. Defer, approve, conditional. So you can put forward a motion, anything you... Yes, Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think given the fact that there's no negative comments from planning staff, I think this is a good example of, this proposal is a good example of how garden suites were intended to be implemented. I'm going to put forward a motion to accept the application subject to forestry conditions.
So we have a motion from Mr. Key to approve this application with the condition of a forestry. And what about transportation? Okay, anyone?
There's no objections, so I'll second.
So Ms. Sankar, do you have a friendly amendment or you're seconded?
No, I'm seconding it and responding to your comment about transportation. Transportation has no objection.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't seem to have that transportation report. If I'll put in the conditional to transportation as
There is
well.
no condition.
There is no condition. Okay. Okay. I'll remove that condition then. Thank you.
Would you please put the transportation letter up, the report? Thank you.
I second Mr. Kidd's motion, please.
Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Kidd, second by Ms. Sankar. All in favor? Oppose? Okay, Mr. Hunt opposing. This application approved. Do you guys need a break, 10-minute break? No? Yes? Sorry, I can't hear you. Yes? Okay, so we will get a 10-minute break. Panel members? Okay, the next application is item number 15, 15 York Valley Crescent. So the agent is Marco Razzolini. Good afternoon.
This is Marco Razzolini.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Marco Razzolini, 94 Lakeshore Road East, Unit 201, Mississauga.
Thank you. So we have another area resident who submit their name to talk.
Madam Chair, that area resident is not on the call, and I've attempted to contact them.
Okay, thank you very much. So we don't have any other person who want to speak to this application. So panel members, do you want a presentation? No? You don't want a presentation. So Mr. Razzolini, do you have any comment that you add before we go to committee?
No, I don't think anything specifically. I think most of it was covered in the cover letter that we did submit. We do have letters of support from the two direct neighbors on the east and west, as well as directly across the street. We've also had a chance to review the staff report from planning, and we're aware of the condition that they're recommending.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Panel members? Yes, Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, for you, Madam Chair, I've looked at this application, and I'm even looking at the one letter of objection on file, although it's outnumbered by a number of letters of support. And I do believe that given that there's no other major concerns from staff, and I've looked at the variances and the application as a whole, I do believe it meets the 4 tests. So I'll put forward a motion to approve this application, and I'll make it subject to the May 18th, 2023 staff report, where the front yard setback be developed as shown in the site plan drawing attached to the report. And I'll also make this subject to forestry. And that's my motion.
Thank you very much. We have a motion from Ms. Sankar to approve this application, and second by Ron Hunt. All in favor? Yes, this application unanimously approved with the conditions. And Urban Forest.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon. The next application is item number 16. The address is 5 Trailside Drive, and the agent is Yonge Fu. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yonge Fu, 98 Alamosa Drive, Northfield, Ontario, 12J2P1.
Thank you. Members, do you need any presentation on this application? We have no one else read, no? So panel members have no question. Do you have any comment before we go to the committee?
No.
You don't have any comment. So any motion? Yes, Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, I believe that this application is straightforward and does meet the 4 tests. Quite minor and acceptable in context how it's presented. I'll put forward a motion to approve this application without condition. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion from Ms. Sankar with no condition. Anyone seconded? Any second? Yes. Second by Ron Hunt. All in favor? So this application unanimously approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Application number 17, it's 62 Hartley Avenue. So the agent is Bomdad bin Baghdadi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Bomdad Ben Baghdadi from BBA Design Studio, Inc. I'm the applicant and architect for this project.
Would you please state your address as well for the record?
Sure. It's Unit 213 at 18 Somerset Way in Toronto, North York, M2N6X5.
Thank you very much. We don't have anyone else registered to speak with this application. I just would like to ask the members, do you want any presentation? Yes, Ms. Sankar?
I do have some questions about the recommendations by the staff report and if they are making any changes or how they would, discuss, especially variances number 2, 3, and 4, that the staff is it be refused.
So, Mr. Baghdadi, would you please provide us a short presentation and state which variance, if you wish to change, modify any variance, please state with the number of the variance and the new numbers that you provided.
Sure. Through you, Madam Chair, as indicated in our report, we received some comments from the planning department and concerning regarding 3 of our variances, and they asked us to improve our variances, and we did. The drawings you have are already showing the improvements. I can explain these 3 improvements in notice of hearing. Variance number 2, which regards to the north side yard setback, we increased it from 0.25 to 0.63 meter. Variance number 3, which regards to our FSI, when we increase the north side yard setback, our FSI automatically gets reduced. It reduced from 81.32 to 76.28. And also this will improve our variance number 4 regarding a green space or rear yard soft landscaping. Our new number will be 37.6%. After these adjustments, the planning department now have no concerns and no objection to our proposal and are in favor of our application.
Thank you very much. Panel member, is there any question? Yes, Ms. Sankar.
No, thank you for that. I'm ready for a motion if there's no more questions. My motion is, given that they have addressed some of the concerns of the staff report, I will put forward a motion to approve this application, and there is a number of letters of support for this application. So I'll put forward a motion to approve it with the changes made by the applicant today, such that variance number 2 is increased to 0.63 meters, variance number 3 is reduced to 76.28, and variance number 4 has increased to 37.6%, and that the property be developed in accordance with the site plan drawing that was submitted to Committee of Adjustment. That's my motion.
Thank you very much. We have a motion from Ms. Sankar. Anyone seconded? Second by Paul Kidd. All in favor? Yes. So this application unanimously approved. Application number 18. It's 54 Pleasant View Drive, application number 18. So the agent name is Kaushik Suthar. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and the committee member. I am the Kaushik Suthar. I am the Kaushik Suthar, 25 Jansusi Road, Unit 209, Toronto. And I am representing on behalf of the owner for this minor variance applications. This is a straight for minor variance applications and is comply with the planning test and everything. And we review the staff reports and its conditions too. And also we have the couple of the neighbors supports letters and everything. And if you have any questions, concerns, I'm willing to answer and you're happy to answer your questions, anything, if you have any problem.
So just to clarify, so you have a chance to review staff report dated March 18, 2023. Are you aware of the condition that the staff recommended?
I am aware of this, yeah. Yeah, I am aware of this one, yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So panel member, is there any question for this agent applicant? No question. Is there any question? Can I get a motion? Yes, Ms. Sankar.
Yeah, motion. If there are no other questions from my colleagues, I do believe that this, has met the 4 tests upon my review. I don't see any major concerns highlighted by staff, so I'll put forward a motion to approve this application in light of the numbers of letters of support, and I'll make it the proposal be developed in accordance with the site plan drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustments. And that's my motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion from Ms. Sankar with one condition of the staff condition. Anyone seconded? Yes, Mr. Ron Hunt seconded. All in favor? Yes, this application unanimously approved.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You too. So the next application is item number 19. The address is 24 Bradenton Drive, and the agent Alice Axay or Axay. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and address.
Hi, I am Alice Axay, 24 Bradenton Drive.
There is no one else registered to speak for this application. Do you have any comment? Any presentation?
That it's a plexiglass structure to go over the pool. We are asking for a little walkway around it. The 30% is the coverage permitted. We're asking for 33.2%. Yeah, that's about all I have to say.
Okay, thank you very much. Panel member, do you have any question?
I do have a quick question, Madam Chair. Just around the 33.2%, is a part of that or all of it as something that is already existing? Because it, for the pool enclosure that you say it's a clear plexiglass, I'm not thinking it's it should be taking up that much room. Can you just comment on that square footage?
No, there's nothing else. It's just the pool and the plexiglass structure, which is to go around it. We are asking for a little walkway around it, 0.81 meters around it, rather than having it strictly adjacent to the brick of the pool.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Panel member, any other question? No, Ms. Sankar, yes?
Motion, please, if there's no other questions. So I think I understand what this application is about, and I just needed that sort of clarification. And it was also to address the letter of concern that had come in from one of the neighbors who had the same concern. And I guess on paper, you don't know what it is until you review fully well and hear from the applicant themselves. So I'll put forward a motion to approve this application as is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion from Ms. Sankar to approve this application with no condition. Second by Paul Kidd. All in favor? Yes, the application unanimously approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good day.
Good day to you. So I think we reached to the end of this morning agenda, and I would like to confirm to see how much lunchtime. So we will just get a half an hour time for lunch. So, and we would like to everyone come back at 3:15. Perfect.